year at the University of Evansville. And somewhere in there, he's giving some instructions last minute to his starting five. And they're brought to you by Pizza Hut. Starting lineups presented by Wichita's own Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. A couple of guys, David Howard and Dwayne Gibson, did next to nothing against Wichita State in Evansville, but lately they both have been playing a much bigger role in trying to help out Jalen Brown and Ryan Taylor, the two heavy lifters offensively for Evansville. Also in his 10th year at Wichita State is Greg Marshall, and his Pizza Hut starting lineups look like this. 25 wins for Wichita State for the 8th consecutive year. That's a Missouri Valley Conference record. And pretty much everybody in that starting five, Bob, have come into their own one way or another and in their own particular discipline. Zach Brown playing defense, Connor Frankamp and Shamet shooting from deep and on down the line.
Yeah, this Shocker team has won 10 in a row and has won 16 of their last 17. And you can go back to the Evansville game. That was the game after the loss at Illinois State. The Shockers stayed on the road, bust down to Evansville because the ice storm, and that's when the things got rolling.
The 47th meeting all time between these two schools. Shockers have won 30 of them. In the jump circle, David Howard, 6'8" from Nashville against Shaquille Morris, and Shockers almost always win the opening tap, and more of the same here tonight on senior night, final home game of the season.
Evansville known for their tough man-to-man. They play a very physical brand of basketball.
Morris a little too strong in the game's first shot.
No double team that time. Howard guarded Morris one-on-one and forced Shaq to miss.
And a walk by Gibson. Let's get to our keys to the game. They're brought to you by the Kansas Lottery. Play Kansas Lottery and dream bigger.
Well, the Shocker bigs, they're deep, they're talented, they can score, so they like to play inside out. Go inside to Shaq, go inside to Willis, go inside to Nerger. If they're double team, then kick it out to the shooters. Defensively, make the aces hit jump shots. Don't give them easy ones on slips, on curls, and don't foul them. They're a very, very good free throw shooting team.
The guys that handle the ball most often are great foul shooters. Loose ball ends up in the hands of Frankamp with 13 to shoot.
That's what I'm talking about, physical brand of basketball. Shaq got sent sideways when he tried to go to the basket that time.
And the whirling dervish that is Shaquille Morris picks up where he left off at the Ford Center, Bob. He had a double-double, 17 points, and I think that's probably why you had the key to the game that you did, pounded inside.
Yeah, he had a great ball game. Had the first 8 points for the Shockers at Evansville. There's Howard with an easy bucket on the reverse layup inside.
Howard played 6 minutes and did not score at the Ford Center. He's been a vastly different player since then, which I'm sure we'll get to throughout the course of the game.
Well, everybody focuses on Taylor and Brown because they're the big scorers. They score about half the Aces' points, but you got to watch out for the other guys because they'll slip for easy buckets, just like Howard did there.
Frankamp with a pitch out to Brown. All Aces in transition.
Oh, he's smooth, isn't he?
It's a good take to the basket, and it's no wonder that he is on line to become the sixth consecutive years the Aces have had at least one 20-point score.
Yeah, they've done it with Colt Ryan, they've done it with DJ Valentine, and now with Jalen Brown. They always have one guy that scores a lot of points. Kind of a force that time by Shaq. Not a real good shot, fading away about 12 feet along the baseline.
So Gibson and Howard have scored for the University of Evansville. The Shockers kind of in neutral offensively. They've gotten some good looks. Brown couldn't get a three to go down. Morris has missed one from deep. Shamet will try right side. That's good. Landry Shamet has now hit a three in 19 consecutive games. The Shocker record is 27.
He hit 4 out of 6 Saturday against UNI, and he's shooting 48% from three in Valley play, a really high percentage from three.
Gibson again wouldn't go this time. Loose ball, and that ended up going out of bounds. Landry Shamet has developed into a real dead eye from three.
Shoots it really well, Shane. For a freshman especially. Normally their stats go down when you get into Valley play, but his stats have actually gone up since he's gotten into conference play.
Brown got loose and hits. That's a 3.
Yeah, you've got to watch it. If you try to go over the top of those screens, he'll flare on you. That time he ran along the baseline on an out-of-bounds play, got the corner jumper. You got to stay with him, lock with him, and just chase it.
Brown got loose, wouldn't go. Darrell Willis into the game with the offensive board. Darrell Willis really came alive on Saturday against Northern Iowa.
Yeah, had a real good ball game. Came in off the bench. 14 points, 11 rebounds in just 19 minutes of play against UNI.
Brown didn't want it. Gibson didn't want a 3 that Frankamp was giving him. Now Brown will trigger. Shamet with a defensive rebound. Good wall off. Frankamp in transition, a little strong. Brown tried to keep it alive.
Well, they dodged the bullet that time. I know Coach Simmons was holding his breath because Connor's the guy that broke the game up in Evansville in the second half. Hit 3 straight 3-pointers to break that game open for the Shockers. That time he was wide open in transition, and Evansville dodged a bullet.
Got a brief look at Marty Simmons in his 16th year overall, 10th at the University of Evansville. 5-11 in the league this year. The win's hard to come by, but the guy with the ball right now, Jalen Brown, probably going to lead the Valley in scoring. And a block by Willis. It's kept alive. Another block. And the crowd into it early.
I know Willis got the first one, but Duffy might have gotten the second one. Shocker Biggs doing a good job protecting the basket that time. Willis got both? Okay. Good job for Darrell.
Just inside the line. That may have been partially blocked.
And Connor,
foul on the rebound.
Connor's complaining he got hit on the elbow.
7-7 at the first media timeout here at Charles Koch Arena. The Kansas Department of Transportation, who reminds you, you drink, you drive, you lose. Wichita's own Koch Industries. Dillon's, fresh food, low prices. Wichita's very own Pizza Hut, who also brought you stuffed crusts, the original pan crust, and more. No one out-pizzas the Hut. By Leadfoot Express, same-day logistics. Patterson Legal Group, the good guys are proud Shocker supporters. Hurt in a car wreck? Go to pattersonlegalgroup.com. And by the Carnahan Group. Trade up, pair down, move on. Well, as it turns out, Connor Frankamp ended up getting hit. And you mentioned it, going back to the bench, Bob, you thought he was grimacing a little bit, favoring something.
Took a shot in the ribs or something, but I didn't see them call a foul.
I didn't either.
But they did, and he went to the line and made them both.
Good position underneath by Howard, but 2 Shockers took it away from him.
They don't send a lot of guys to the boards. They usually have 3 guys back. They don't want Shockers getting out on the fast break.
Shannon got multiple triples already. He's got 6. Wichita State forging in front.
Been a very reliable shooter for Coach Marshall. Landry Shamet has playing point guard now. Does a great job of distributing the basketball. Doesn't turn it over much. Plays excellent defense and knocks down their 3-pointer.
Brown couldn't finish. Boy, he got right on the doorstep. Kelly with a rebound. Oh, Shamet's feeling it.
What a start for Landry Shamet. 3 for 3, all 3s. Marty Simmons has seen enough. He wants a timeout. And these Shocker fans are on their feet, giving Landry Shamet an ovation.
And one of the Evansville assistants just kind of shrugging his shoulders at Ryan Taylor and saying, go get the guy. He's already hit 2. We'll do it again.
Yeah, I'm sure they can read a stat sheet. 48% from 3 in Valley play. Last 4 games, he's been shooting 53% from 3-point. 9 of 17 in his last 4 ball games.
He had 11 points and 5 assists in their first meeting. He has keyed a 10-0 run. And of the 15 the Shockers have, he has 9. Came in averaging 11. He's almost there.
I know what the Evansville coaches are frustrated about. They had 3 defenders back. They just didn't talk and identify the shooters. Nobody went out to get Landry Shamet, and he had a wide open look there in transition. Marty is not a happy camper right now.
Well, and he didn't have very long to right the ship either. Quick 30, and they're back at it. Benson had a little bit of trouble getting it in.
Shockers are going to try to keep the pressure on Evansville, try to wear them down. They've got a little more depth than Evansville does. They got some guys that play 35, 33 minutes a game, so they're going to keep the pressure on them.
Right wing three, no good. Frankamp got the rebound.
Yeah, good hustle that time by Frankamp. Out hustling Christian Benson for that long rebound.
Kelly pushed way out on the floor, trying to maneuver in. What a catch by Willis. How did that get completed?
Rashard Kelly, you talked about him in the opening, Shane. He's just like a different player this last month and a half, playing with a lot of aggression. That time, a nice spin move and drive to the basket and dished off to Darrell Willis.
Lob to Gibson, and Frankamp a little late getting there. Gibson got it back and scored it. He's got 4.
He got to secure the basketball, saved it, but didn't secure it, and Gibson put it in.
Willis, left side of the lane, nice in, scores again. Boy, after about a 4 or 5 game low, Bob, he's been on fire his last game plus 7 minutes.
Yeah, he had a stretch there where he wasn't playing very well, wasn't getting in much, but he had 14 points, 11 boards against UNI this weekend, and he's the guy that caught fire in the second half at Evansville. He scored a lot of buckets in the second half.
And
he got caught there,
hand in the cookie jar right there, yeah, reaching in. So Zach Brown guarding Jaylen Brown. Jaylen giving up 6 inches to Zach Brown, who's proven in the Missouri State game and others, Bob, that he can handle a point guard or a little jitterbug like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, he's a defensive stopper for the Shockers. You'll watch Zach Brown. He's always on the toughest offensive player, the most productive offensive player on the opposing team. And tonight he's got Jaylen Brown. You'll see McDuffie guarding some as well. Looks like they're in a zone this time, though. Shockers got in a zone on that out of bounds underneath.
Boy, they don't shoot many and certainly don't make many, but they have 2 triples made. They only make 3.8 a game. That's the worst in the NCAA.
They don't shoot a lot of them.
McDuffie to answer.
Drew Smith that time made the bucket. McDuffie answered with the 3 of his own.
Long 2, they'll say, so 21 for Wichita State.
Well, if you knock down some outside jumpers, then that opens up the inside game because it spreads the defense out. So very important that Shamet and now McDuffie have hit some outside shots for Wichita State.
To 21-12 after Drew Smith's right side 3. Gibson cut off.
Travel there.
Brown nearly walked, and McDuffie and Willis were waiting for him in a shot clock violation.
Got away with the travel, but did get away with the drive. Nice block by the Shockers. He can score in a lot of different ways, Jaylen Brown can. He knocks down the 3. He scores in transition. He's really good coming off screens, catching the ball curling, going to the basket. He'll also flare and shoot jump shots. He's a tough guy to cover.
We mentioned Evansville doesn't shoot many threes. They're a pretty good shooting team. 47.5% on the, 45.3 on the season, 44.2 against Wichita State. As far as that's concerned, that's really good when you shoot that well against the Shockers.
Yeah, they shoot a pretty good percentage, but only 19% of their shots are 3-point attempts. In contrast, 35% of Wichita State shots are 3-point attempts.
Brown initiated the contact with Deshaun Smith, and a fast-paced 4 or 5 minutes. Finally, we get a break. 21-12, Wichita State nearly going. By Cox Communications, your friend in the digital age. So far for Wichita State, Landry Shamet with 9, Darrell Willis with 6 points and 3 blocked shots. And the Shockers are humming right along after just a so-so start offensively, Bob.
Yeah, didn't start great right out of the blocks, but 57%, 8 out of 14 from the floor, 3 out of 7 from 3. All 3 Landry Shamet 3-pointers. Now it's Marcus McDuffie, 6'8", guarding Jaylen Brown.
And a rush shot from the corner by Ryan Taylor hits the edge of the backboard. So 3 Shocker reserves in there, among them Kelly. And Willis was climbed all over by Vucetic. Sergej Vucetic, 7'1" Serbian, gets his first foul. Great position by Willis on the offensive glass.
Yeah, he's been very active so far in this ball game, scoring underneath, that time going to the boards, had a couple block shots down the defensive end. Darrell Willis really playing, giving a lot of production for Greg Marshall off the bench. Uh-oh.
That 17-footer went 18.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the shot Coach Marshall wanted him to shoot. Better off him going at the basket inside.
Brown around 2. That's going to count. It looked like Willis was a little late getting there. If he would have just held his ground, I think he might have had something there.
He had good position, and then he turned and kind of moved away, trying to avoid the contact, and that's when he got the call by John Higgins. Looks like Brown's going to go to the line, try to complete the three-point play, and Nerger's coming in, and Willis going to take a seat.
So Jaylen Brown goes to the foul line where you do not want to put him. He lives there. Excellent foul shooter. He is 86% on the season, rarely misses. He's got 6.
Yeah, all he had in the first game was 28 points against the Shockers, hit 9 out of 14 shots, 4 out of 6 3-pointers.
Nerger into the game for the first time. Pitches out Reeves and a wide open 3. He's missed 2.
Yeah, that's not the guy they wanted to help off of. Marty Simmons was not happy when he was wide open, but he missed his shot.
Another blocked shot by the Shockers. That's 5.
Kelly wanted to pass it up to Nerger. There it is.
Maybe lost it going up, maybe blocked.
You got to go up strong against Evansville. They're very physical. They're going to try to block all your shots. Can't be weak around the rim tonight in this ball game.
Benson backing down Reeves, no call, and a long rebound comes the Shockers' way.
Evansville sending 3 guys. That time they had 4 guys back defensively. They did not want to let the fast break get going.
Kelly slips to the block. Just barely got away with potential 3-second violation. Nerger lost it going up. Well, the Shockers are disheveled. But the offensive glass always helps.
Well, they looked a little sped up that time, didn't they, Shane? Looked like Marcus was trying to do everything a little fast. Looked like Austin Reeves rushed his shot a little bit, but they hustled through it, got the offensive board. Watch McDuffie grab this and stick it back in. That's just smart play. Go to the offensive boards. You might get a rebound.
So the Shockers with 82 in their previous meeting at the Ford Center, including 52 in the second half. They've come out much different. If you recall that game up at the Ford Center, that first half Wichita State played couldn't have been much worse.
I watched that game today on video, and Shockers were down 13 with 4 minutes to go in the first half. Looked horrible, and then made a little run, cut it to 3 at halftime, and then the game was back and forth for the most of the second half. With 12 minutes to go, the Shockers were down 2 in that ball game, and they ended up winning by 17. So the last 8 minutes, they really turned it on and started making everything.
Another block charge goes the way of Evansville. And Nerger got in too deep. I think he got inside the charge circle, Bob.
That's what John Higgins, the official, he pointed at the restrictive circle saying that he wasn't outside of it. Yeah, you can see right there he's inside that white restrictive circle. And that's why he got called for the foul. Looks like Evansville's going to try to go through the Shocker press and score against it.
Taylor's first 2. There you see his season's numbers. He had 17 against the Shockers in their meeting in Evansville. And he's the other guy that's a sniper from the free throw line, 86% himself.
Yeah, he's averaging 15. Brown's averaging 20, so they score about half of their team points every game.
Nerger with the left. Nerger, Willis, and Shaquille Morris had a field day up at their place. They were all in double figures.
Yeah, Nerger really went to work in the second half there against Evansville. Did a good job of scoring inside. As Darrell Willis did too. Shaq's the guy at the start of the game. He made the first 8 points, and then it was Willis and Shamet the second half. Willis and Nerger.
Deflected going up, according to Don Daly. Play on. Brown didn't take long to recover on Frankamp. Underneath the McDuffie.
How about that little pass by Frankamp? Went to the left side of the basket and then threw a little wraparound shovel pass over to McDuffie for the easy bucket. Nice pass by Connor Frankamp.
Connor Frankamp came into this game averaging well over 4 assists for every turnover on the year. 81 assists now and only 19 turnovers. Jaylen Brown, though, answers.
Yeah, that's an amazing stat by Frankamp. 4-1, and he's almost 5-1 in the last few ball games.
Shamet sniffing around that three-point line. Kelly will take it instead.
Marty Simmons just raised his hands just in disgust, like, what the heck are we going to do here? Got the guy with the lowest percentage, only 42%, and he knocks it down. I guess that's not that low a percentage. Actually, Rashard Kelly's shooting a fairly good percentage
for no more than he shoots. Yeah, he's now 9 for 20.
What I meant to say, he doesn't shoot very many of them. Only 5 for 9 in Valley play, but he's shooting a high percentage of them.
Howard. Not much going there. Repost. Just ahead of the shot clock. When you defend those guys for 30 seconds, you're doing something.
Yeah, you've got to work to defend them, and that's what they didn't do in Evansville. They came out in that ball game, did not defend, let Evansville do whatever they wanted to do, and they saw a whole bunch of that in the game at Evansville. And Marty Simmons is upset at his star Jaylen Brown for letting Frankamp get a wide open three, and he calls another timeout.
Wichita State with 5 from distance, 5 more, and they'll match their school record for most threes made in a season. And not only can you make a three, you distribute for the bigs. 24th and 26th. Friday at 7, Shockers salute to service versus Loyola. Admission is free for all military and badge-wearing servicemen and women. And back at the Roundhouse on Sunday at 2 o'clock, Senior Day, Indiana State. 4 tickets, 4 drinks, 4 hot dogs, 4 popcorns for only $32. So don't miss your chance to see the Shockers one last time this season. Go to 978 Fans on the phone or go to GoShockers.com online.
Catch some women's basketball and feed the family.
That's right.
At the same time.
Shockers by 14.
Shooting 54% from the floor, 50% from 3. They're 5 out of 10 from 3-point. Evansville only 35% from the floor.
Tough contested shot is tapped in by Ludacek. Stops the bleeding, at least for the moment. Shamet off balance, got it to Brown. Frankamp, Jaylen Brown was a little in there.
Some beautiful passing that time. Zach Brown in the left corner to the high post, and Morris immediately found Connor Frankamp on the weak side wing right in front of Evansville coach Marty Simmons, and he just buries that long three-pointer.
So Shamet's got a 19-game three-point streak going. Frankamp's got a 16-gamer going. And now a 3-second violation called by John Higgins. And here's that thing of beauty that you just described.
Watch this. He kind of shovels it out to Brown. Then it's Brown to Morris, back out to Frankamp, who's a step and a half behind the three-point line, and just lets it go. He was 4 out of 4 from 3 against Evansville back on January 17th in Evansville.
Shockers have made their last 6 from the field.
They're going to try something different. They're going to a zone. It's a 1-1-3 that morphs into a 2-3.
McDuffie draws 2. Degree of difficulty was there. Execution was not. Gibson the rebound for Evansville.
It didn't look like Marcus had his legs under him that time. Didn't really elevate for that shot.
Coming off the screen, Ryan Taylor gets 5.
Yeah, he's smooth, and he's 6'6" sophomore. He curls off that screen and knocks down that shot effortlessly.
This start by Evansville, not all that surprising when you think back to their game against Bradley. As Frankamp gets loose, can't score. They blew a 14-point second-half lead against Bradley and ended up losing by a dozen. That's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, Bradley outscored him 16 in the second half and just really shot the heck out of the ball in the second half. 11 out of 21 from 3 in that ball game. But it's really strange to see Marty Simmons go from his man-to-man to his zone. He plays man-to-man probably 98% of the time.
Brown with a flush. Frankamp could have had it, but he knew there were better things down the road.
Yeah, good job by Frank Camp. Guys were flying at him, made a shot fake, dribbled and occupied 2 defenders, and then a good cut by Zach Brown, and Frank Camp found him for the nice easy dunk.
Second assist for Frank Camp, who is just a few assists shy of qualifying for the national leaders. Brown on a foot race to the basket. I don't know if that's just out of bounds or a mugging. It'll be the latter.
I wasn't sure it was a foul. They called a foul or not, but they got him on the arm. Watch this pass now. Connor occupies a couple defenders. Nice cut by Zach Brown coming from the weak sides into the lane. Watch, you'll see him coming on the bottom of the screen there. And a nice find by Frank Camp to get it to Brown for the easy bucket.
So not many fouls in the first half. Each team with just 4.
Looks like they're calling this foul on the floor, and there's not going to be any free throws. It's going to be Shocker basketball underneath the basket. And there's Brown going out. Nice hand by the crowd. He's the guy that's been covering Jalen Brown.
C.J. Kaiser has wormed his way into the rotation the last month or so. Shocker freshman from Baltimore.
He's a very talented freshman. He's going to be a heck of a player. Shocker fans are going to like watching Shamet, Kaiser, and Austin Reeves.
Nobody home to get in the way of Shaquille Morris. He's got 4.
They're doing a good job of passing that ball against that zone. That time, Morris making a nice pass inside.
10 assists on 16 makes for Wichita State. More the same at Charles Koch Arena. It's a broken record in a good way for the Shockers.
There's Kelly going after another loose ball.
There's Frank Camp. There goes the entire team. It's going to stay on this end, but Greg Marshall's okay with that. And so on 10,506.
Yeah, listen to the Shocker fans. They appreciate good basketball here, especially hustling basketball. Everybody rose to their feet. Standing ovation for the Shockers getting on the floor for that loose ball.
Morris with a nice slip. Vucetic had no chance at all, and now this is just pure hustle, and Kelly started it. 3 different Shockers on the floor, including Shaquille Morris.
Yeah.
10 to shoot for the Aces.
You know Coach Marshall's loving that.
You bet. 17-point lead, and 60% of your team is on the floor diving after the same ball. Brown trying to get away from Kaiser. What a job by C.J. Kaiser.
Nothing there. There you go. He's a confident kid, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He doesn't hesitate when he's open.
And he really got rewarded for a job well done previous time down.
He had a couple of highlight reel dunks in practice yesterday. That Brown just keeps coming at you. Whoa. Pass to the front row that time by Shannon.
That's the very first turnover by Wichita State. Not surprisingly, Shockers lead by 15. Attendance, fair to say, wouldn't you say, no?
I would say so. I see him up in the top row standing, so 10,506 would be my guess.
Shockers by 15 at the under 4 timeout. There's a little better look at the intimate gathering here on senior night, final regular season home game for the Shockers, and they have, to say caught fire would be kind of understating things. First 3 or 4 minutes was a little shaky, but boy, they've been shooting the lights out in the last 10 or 12 minutes.
Well, Shamet got things going with his 3 3-pointers. Now he's covering Brown. Steal by the Shockers.
Kaiser wins the race, couldn't finish. There's Kelly. Frank Camp. Oh, look at that. Connor Frank Camp with his 3rd 3. He's got 11 in the first half, and the Shockers lead by 18.
Over in Evansville in the second half, 14 points, 4 out of 4 threes. He's the guy that broke the game open over there in Evansville.
Consecutive turnovers, and the roof is caving in on Marty Simmons and the Aces.
They hadn't had many up to that point. Only 4, but 2 quick ones.
Kaiser with a teardrop short. There's Morris. Will it count? No, it's on the floor, according to John Higgins. David Howard picks up his 2nd. On the floor, no foul shots. Kaiser takes a rest.
Tell you one thing, C.J. Kaiser gets his shots up. He's probably leading the team in shots per minute played. He or Willis probably.
We've talked about it a couple times. He and Eric Hamilton, the ball always seems to be around those guys.
Yeah, Eric gets his up too. Kaiser's going to be a good player. Shocker fans are going to really love watching him play.
Nowhere to go for Frankamp, so Shamet will try it. Blocked on the way up, but that's going to be a foul as well.
Chetik, I think.
Yep, that'll be his second.
I tell you, Shaq, once he gets you on his backside down that low, you got a problem. Because he's really hard to get around, and he's so strong, and he elevates. He gets off the floor really well, so he's tough to cover if you let him catch the ball that deep.
Shaquille Morris nails the first of two. He was a 66% foul shooter a year ago. Shaq shooting a cool 78.3 at the moment.
And he's been playing really well the last 10 ball games. It all started back in Evansville when he got the start. After the loss to Illinois State, he got the start in the Evansville game. Scored 17 points, had 10 rebounds in that game, and he's been playing really, really well since then.
Solomon Heine in there for the first time, and last 3 or 4 times down, Bob, the Aces have had a hard time even holding on to the ball. A couple of turnovers and a near turnover on this trip.
Yeah, it's been all Shocker man-to-man defense. So I think they played one possession zone on an out of bounds. Oh, there's a basket right there by Drew Smith.
Smith, a set shot 3. He's got 6.
It's like Evansville is going to go back to that 2-3 zone. They're trying to figure out some kind of defense to slow the Shocker offense down. Be careful about spinning against zone defenses.
Shockers got away with it. Kelly couldn't connect, but Zach Brown bailed him out. Fresh 30. Kelly mugged in the keyhole.
It's like Smith got that call.
Drew Smith's first. And we'll be shooting free throws. Rashard Kelly to the line.
That's where you want to get the ball against a 2-3 zone. The soft spot is right inside the free throw line where the valley is printed on the lane there. Get that ball there, and it really hurts a 2-3 zone.
Kelly 3 points. He's got one of the Shockers' 7 triples. Spins the free throw out. Morris had his hands on it, but it was last touched by Heine, I think.
I've got Kelly shooting better from outside the three-point line than he does from the free throw line, believe it or not. He's 54% for the season from the free throw line. He's 56% from behind the arc in Valley play, 5 of 9.
Wayne Gibson took a shot, and they're going to allow him to go to the bench and then come back in. So the Shockers will get rewarded with a possession, so we'll stay here. Reeves to trigger it in.
We got another back man-to-man.
Morris wanted it on the three-point action. He's kind of like Kelly, Bob. Doesn't shoot very often, but makes more than you might think.
Yeah, probably not the shot Coach Marshall wanted that time. Would rather have him get the ball inside, but he did hit a 3 in Evansville in that second half.
He's made a grand total of 4 all year. Smith with 3 more.
Yeah, he just hit one a minute ago from that same spot.
Smith averages 5. He's got 9.
Well, they went man-to-man on that out-of-bounds under, but now they've gone back to that 2-3 zone.
Kelly cut off and traveled. So the lead was up to 20. It's now down to 14, and the Aces will get it back.
Kelly got a little bit of a hurry that time, trying to rush things. You want to take your time. Catch that ball in the high post. Turn around, face the basket, look under, and look opposite. Usually somebody's open in the corner or on the wing.
Craig Marshall with a look of concern on his face, but it's not due to the turnovers. That's only 2 in the first half by Wichita State. Gibson. No good. Shockers will get the final shot. Kelly with 8. Morris falls down. The Shockers will have 5.2.
You got to go up strong. As I pointed out early, Evansville plays very, very physical brand of defense. And they're going to bump you. They're going to push you. And they're really good at doing it without getting fouls called. But you got to have your feet under you, and you got to go up strong when you take the ball to the basket against the Aces.
So the Shockers bring in a couple of snipers in Frankamp and Shamet.
They're waiting for Coach Marshall to call an out-of-bounds play, and I'm not sure it got relayed to him.
He's only got 5 seconds to figure it out. Kelly, a big step through, drew a foul.
When in doubt, take it to the basket. Yep. That's what Kelly does best. We talked about him being on a run the last 6 ball games, shooting 67%. That's one reason why he's been driving to the basket, dunking on people, and drawing fouls.
So Kelly will get 2 with just under 3 seconds in the half. That's pure. He's got 4. Bob mentioned his last 6 games, he's been more than just a role player. 8 points, 7 rebounds, and no more minutes than he plays. That'll play.
A lot of production off the bench.
Rattles that one in.
And he plays really good defense and rebounds.
So Kelly will go out, and Zach Brown in the Shocker backcourt.
Let's go into Jaylen Brown. Nope, Gibson.
He tried. Too late. Too late.
He made it.
48-32 after 20 minutes. Wichita State halfway home to a perfect record at Charles Koch Arena. Marty Simmons displeased with his defense as the Shockers flirted with 50% from the floor. They did make 7 first-half threes. After a slow start, it was all Wichita State. Patterson Legal Group halftime show is coming up.
Going inside to David Howard, and watch Dwayne Gibson go right by 2 defenders and score in transition for the Aces. Darrell Willis did some good work off the bench, was really productive, got a couple of buckets and a couple of blocks on the defensive end. Watch Shamet go inside to big Shaq Morris, an easy one that time.
Wichita State in that first half ended up with 4 more baskets, 3 more three-pointers, 5 more free throws. You get the idea. Those are the first half highlights brought to you at KDOT, and our stats are brought to you by Wendy's, home of the Baconator, where we'll see Wichita State was just a little better in almost every category, and that's how come they methodically built the lead up to 20, and they now enjoy a 16-pointer.
Yeah, very good offensively. Shockers are a good offensive ball club, especially in this building, shooting 49% against a really good defensive team, the Evansville Aces. 7 for 14 from behind the arc. Outstanding shooting from behind the arc, making their free throws, out-rebounding, and doing just about everything right, Shane.
Now, Jaylen Brown will curl and flare off of those screens, but there's a fair amount of time where they take it to the basket, and they only ended up with 2 free throws in the game. Jaylen Brown halfway to double figures. That's no surprise there, but the Shockers also no surprise, a lot of balance.
Yeah, good job defending without fouling. They only put them in the line twice. And that's really good against Evansville because, like you said, they like to attack. They curl, they drive, they attack in transition, they attack in their half court. So the Shockers need to continue that in the second half, playing really good, stingy defense and doing it without putting the Aces on the line.
Taylor averages 15. He's only got 5. You mentioned Brown halfway to his average of 20. You can live with that. But it's the rest of the guys going crazy would make Evansville a little dangerous.
Yeah, focus on Taylor, focus on Brown, but don't forget about the other guys.
Shockers, your first possession.
Going inside.
Boy, did they ever.
In a big way. Nice set play, reverse the basketball, got it to Shaq Morris on the block, and he just rattled the rim with that one, going right over the top of Howard.
Christian Benson just appeared on Shaquille Morris's latest poster. Crowd standing for defense as they do to begin each half. And that dunk didn't hurt any.
No, that would get the crowd going a little bit. They held Evansville to 40% shooting in the first half. Good job. Watch this.
Got the step on Howard, and that's all she wrote.
That's a drop step power move. That's a classic one right there.
Shannon with the quick hands almost had the steal. Benson, no good. Shamet wanted to hit McDuffie cutting to the basket. A deflection will keep it on this end.
Right idea. Just didn't get the pass past the defender. Evansville does a good job keeping their hands up and deflecting passes. But a little bit of Shocker basketball underneath their basket.
You got to feel a little bit nervous if you're Marty Simmons right now. Down 18, crowd going crazy. Fran Camp hit going up. So this is very potentially 4-0 run to start the second half for Wichita State. And how do you counter it if you're Marty Simmons?
Well, you're going to have to whittle away at it, and you're going to have to try to get stops on your defensive end and then try to figure a way to score against this Shocker defense. But it all starts on Evansville's defensive end, trying to get stops.
Connor Frankamp now 20 for 25 on the year at the line. Didn't go there often. He had 11 first half points. The only Shocker in double figures. He's been a scoring machine his last 8 games or so.
Now, they got the start at Evansville back on January 17th, and since then he's been playing great basketball. 14 points at SIU, 16 points at Loyola, shooting 51% from 3 in Valley play. 51%.
Brown on Brown. Clock play. We'll see what Jalen has for Zach. And Shaquille Morris came over for the block, but I think because Zach Brown was a half step slow, he got called for the bump.
Yeah, they called it on Brown. Looked like he was giving ground, and Shaq did a good job of coming over and swatting that one. But Don Daly saw some contact and called the foul on Zach Brown, and Jalen Brown will get a couple free throws.
Jalen Brown had 10 in the first half, a rare miss at the line, but he still has now scored in double figures in 24 consecutive games. Bob told you in the first half, he was as efficient as any single player against Wichita State could be in a single game. 28 points and only 14 field goal attempts at the Ford Center.
Yeah, that's pretty good shooting. 9 of 14, 4 out of 6 from 3. He had 29 points against Bowling Green, 39 points against Toledo earlier this season. The kid can really light it up if you don't do a good job on him. Looks like a possible zone defense here again this time by Evansville.
Through some contact, McDuffie dumps it in.
Nice little high-low that time. Shaq Morris on the high post and McDuffie on the low post.
Cleared out.
Wow.
And Shaquille Morris.
Yeah. Shaq Morris took a shot right in the chops, and he got the foul as well. And Shocker fans are letting the referees have it on that call.
I've heard it said before that sometimes Shaquille Morris gets called for a foul for being big. And I think maybe that would be one time that qualified. That was a big on big.
That was a breakdown that time by the Shockers. Did a poor job of defending that play. Gave Jalen Brown an easy one.
Jalen Brown, lightning quick. He's got 13. Crowd can set down, but the lead is still sizable. Morris got paid back. What goes around comes around, and maybe the basketball gods even things up as look like Christian Benson.
Watch him go to the high post. That's the soft part of that 2-3 zone defense, right there inside the free throw line. Get the ball there, and then that guy needs to look under for his other big man partner, or kick it to the side to a shooter.
I beg your pardon. That was David Howard with the foul, and that's his third. Connor Frankamp. Now we can't make a trip down the floor without there being a foul.
And he got caught reaching in that time as Dwayne Gibson went up for the shot. Trying to deflect the basketball, got him on the wrist instead.
So Gibson averages about 7 a game. He went scoreless against Wichita State in Evansville. Had a decent game against Bradley this past weekend. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
February 11th, he went off at Southern. 27 points, 10 rebounds, hit 10 out of 15 shots in that ball game. So he's capable of putting up some big numbers if you don't do a good job on him.
Well, if they're going to hang around, somebody's got to help Jalen Brown. In the first half, it was Drew Smith. Gibson's kind of been quiet. Ryan Taylor's kind of been quiet. Those guys in the past month or so have really stepped it up. Nice one-handed catch by Shaq. And that's going to be 4 fouls on David Howard if it's him. So David Howard, one of those other guys that potentially you would have hoped would step up. He's going to be on the bench for a while now.
Yeah, and here comes Vucetic in to check in for him and give Howard a little rest here with his 4th foul.
Howard fouled out against Bradley.
Tried to fake the call right there. Christian Benson went down trying to draw the foul against Shaq Morris, but the referees weren't going for it. Made a no call there and then called the foul on Howard.
Howard just couldn't quite help himself. Didn't go straight up. Came down over Shaquille Morris's arm. 2 more free throws for Shaq. So he's in double figures. Shockers were 20 out of 23 from the line on Saturday. They're 11 for 13 from the stripe today. Brown and near steal, but he'll be called for the foul. That's his 2nd.
Like I mentioned, Shaq started in that Evansville game back on January 17th, and since then, in the 10 games, he's averaged 12 points and 7 rebounds, doing a really good job. A lot of production from Shaq Morris. There's a turnover. Mishandled the pass.
Now there's no way Jaylen Brown's going to stop Marcus McDuffie in the open court.
Yeah, nice finish by McDuffie going right to the basket.
Benson met by Nerger. Frankamp coming off a 14-point game against Northern Iowa, as we talked about. Running the point for Wichita State. Nerger banging in there, gives to McDuffie, and he'll go to the line. Foul on Benson.
That McDuffie just started backing in from about 17 feet out. Took about 3 dribbles. The double team took a while to get there, but when it did come, Ronald Nerger recognized it and found Marcus McDuffie on the opposite block.
Well, Wichita State, such a well-oiled machine here at the Roundhouse this year. Close games have been so few and far between, regardless of opponent, non-conference, conference, well, you name it. They've come in here and absolutely taken care of business virtually from the start of the season till now.
Really been dominant here at Koch Arena. It all starts with the guard tandem. When Coach Marshall settled in on Connor Frankamp and Landry Shamet, it seems like since then the team has really gelled, and they've got good guard play off the bench. Deshaun Smith comes off the bench, and other guys come in and play. Reeves comes off the bench, but those 2 guys have been doing a really good job of handling the ball, passing the ball, running the team, and knocking down 3-pointers. A full court 1-2-1-1 press this time, trying to hound the Aces.
Took them 12 seconds to get into their offense.
Shockers want to keep the tempo high, try to wear the Aces down. There's Dwayne Gibson showing how he can score.
Nice move, a little one-handed push shot, gives him 8. Partially blocked by Ryan Taylor coming across to help. That was...
Yeah, you saw Nerger falling off balance that time. That didn't happen by accident. You've got to have your knees bent. You got to have your legs under you against the Aces, because they'll bump you pretty good.
Vucetic goes 238, so he's not exactly a stick figure down there. Willis got fouled on the way up. Ryan Taylor.
Yeah, Ryan Taylor got caught knocking him on the arm.
So this is a Greg Marshall teams since he's been here. His calling card has always been defense and rebounding. This team is no different, but they have added a tremendous amount of three-point accuracy from the floor overall. They're knocking on 48%, knocking on the door 48%. Talked about their free throws the last handful of games. They just churn out those 80-point performances like it's nothing.
Shane, you're absolutely right. They've always had good defenses. They've always rebounded real well and taken care of the basketball. But what they've added this season is outstanding outside shooting, and they're shooting it a lot better than the previous seasons. There's a three-pointer in transition.
Drew Smith has more three-pointers than the Aces average in a game this year, but it has still been too little. And that'll take us to break as John Higgins calls the walk. Shockers by 21, 4.5 minutes in. Shockers +5 in the second half, +21 for the game. And as we talked about, Bob, it's just more of the same, especially here in this building. The Shockers' margin of victory, unbelievable, really.
Well, and Evansville's not doing a bad job of executing here in the second half. They're 3 out of 5, hit 1 for 1 from behind the arc, so good production offensively. But the Shockers are 4 out of 5, so they're shooting the ball even better.
There's the overall scoring margin on the season. The Shockers trailing only undefeated Gonzaga in outscoring their opponent. And it's way worse here at Charles Koch Arena. We'll get to the details as the game gets a little deeper.
Well, you talked about it. They play defense, they rebound, and they take care of the ball, but they shoot the ball so well this year, and they're so deep. They got a lot of guys that can come off the bench and give production. Tonight it's Willis, and now Deshaun Smith's in the ball game.
Jaylen Brown, that was an afterthought of a shot, and it showed. Shockers' 8th triple, so they're now 2 3-pointers away from matching the school record in a season.
He doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but he's very high percentage lately. Last 3 games, 50% from 3, 4 out of 8. So he's being more selective on what he shoots, the 3-pointers that he shoots, and he's knocking them down. What he's known for is his defense, and he's guarding Jaylen Brown. Watch him chase Brown around.
Well, and Shamet trying to help him out. He was a half step slow. Boy, Jaylen Brown's like he shot out of a rocket.
Yeah, very athletic, very quick, and he's got a really good engine. Now, that guy plays what, 35 minutes a game, 37 minutes a game, and he never looks tired out there.
On more than one occasion, he's gone 40 minutes or more. In the first half, he did not set at all. Euro-on-Euro crime as Nerger from Estonia fouls Vucetic from Serbia.
Vucetic at the line, shooting 2.
Vucetic doesn't score much. 3 a game, got 2 tonight.
I've been to Serbia.
And?
Yeah. It was Yugoslavia back then. A lot of tall people there. 6'10", 6'11", 7-footers walking around all over the place.
I envision it being snowy most of the time. I've been watching too many movies?
No, down along the Adriatic, it's really nice.
Okay.
Split, Croatia.
2 free throws for Vucetic.
They love their basketball back there. Serbia, Croatia.
There's your Eastern European summary for the game.
We're well-rounded. There's Willis missing a little 12-footer, one he usually knocks down. Back cut. Nice.
Jaylen Brown got past Zach Brown and finishes with the right hand.
Yeah, Brown got a little overextended that time. Jaylen Brown back cut him from the corner and a nice pass.
Nerger got bodied up, as Bob alluded to, as Evansville get physical with you in the post. Vucetic did just that.
Yeah, Nerds didn't go up very strong that time. Now they're keeping attacking. We talked about Evansville likes to draw fouls. Shockers did a good job of defending without fouling in the first half. Only put them at the line twice in the whole first half. But here in the second half, they've shot a ton of free throws.
Well, and they're in the bonus, so they're going to shoot a ton more unless Wichita State can start playing them for the drive. 1-and-1 coming up for Drew Smith, who has made 4 3-pointers.
Well, here's the problem, Shane. You get up 20, and it's just human nature to let up a little bit. And if you let up just a little bit against a good team, they will make you pay, and that's what Evansville. They've cut the lead from 20 down to 10, now down, well, 19. But they're coming back.
Well, they had it to 14 in the first half, and the ball, I believe, when the Shockers built a 20-point lead. So
yeah, if you let up just a little bit, they can erase this 20-point lead and get it back to 10.
Willis takes his turn. Vucetic cuts him off. And he got him off of his feet, and that was all she wrote. Got Vucetic to buy a ball fake, and Willis got fouled.
Yeah, the foul was on Heine. He came over to help and double team, and I think he took the worst of it when Willis caught him right on the side of the head, and Heine got the foul and the injury.
Well, both teams are going to be shooting free throws for the last 12:56. Willis rolls that one in. So Darrell Willis now with 8 points as he is approaching double figures. Shamet goes out, Reeves comes in. We got McDuffie and Frankamp with 13, Morris with 12, Shamet with 9, and now Willis with 9. Sound familiar?
Yep. Balance. They had 6 guys in double figures in that UNI game last weekend.
Brown lost it going up, and off of one Shocker's hand, we don't know whose, and the crowd doesn't think that Rick Crawford knows who did it either.
And Marty Simmons is giving John Higgins an earful over there. Look out, steal.
Kelly, hard foul going up. Heine was not going to allow the run out.
Shocker fans wanted the intentional foul, but I think he got ball. As long as you get ball, it's not going to be an intentional foul. Nice steal by Rashard Kelly. Got a little bit of ball, but mostly arm.
They call that clear path in the NBA.
Yeah, NBA guys, they don't foul on that play. They're making too much money.
They're going to let him go. They're going to let him go, especially in a 20-point game.
Especially in the All-Star game.
Oh man. That's an exhibition, Bob. That is not a game. So Heine goes out after the personal foul.
That's typical of what Kelly does. Off the ball, he's waiting, jumps the passing lane, gets the steal. That's what he does for Greg Marshall. Plays really, really good defense.
So Kelly now 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Continues to be just ultra efficient. And a foul on Austin Reeves.
You hate to see a foul that far away from the basket. You want to press, you want to speed them up, you want to try to get a steal, but don't foul. Don't foul. You're trying to speed the game up. Now it stops the game, sends Evansville to the line, and Coach Marshall is pointing at his temples. A sign to Austin Reeves, hey, think, play smart.
It's Benson's first point. He had 1 point in 11 minutes against Wichita State in that 17-point Shocker win. So Heine nails both. They're now 11 of 12 from the foul line. Not a great foul shooting team on the year, save for the 2 guys that we talked about, but everybody else has been pitching in. Trying to stay within shouting distance of the Shockers. Kelly working on Benson, but pushed way out on the floor, finds Darrell Willis.
Well, nothing looked good in that possession except the finish.
The ball going through the hoop.
And Willis made a nice little 12-footer right inside the free throw line. And
so Willis, who was on the side of a milk carton for about a month, has gone for double figures in the last 2. 14 against Northern Iowa, 11 tonight, and really efficient shooting the ball in both games.
There was a little war of wills going on between Darrell Willis and Greg Marshall, and I think Darrell Willis has come around now.
Darrell Willis with a feathery jump shot taking us to break. Protect your healthy smile with Delta Dental of Kansas. Learn more about individual and family health plans at deltadentalkansas.com. Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live Moss. Bud Light, make the right call, drink responsibly. Serenity Home Health, Kansas' only double 5-star rated home health care company. Green Vision Group, total eye care for the entire family. The Kansas Lottery. Play Kansas Lottery and dream bigger. Let Prairie View help you get back in the game of life. And by Wendy's, home of the Baconator. A rare miss from the foul line for the Evansville Aces in the second half. Actually, both teams filling it up from the free throw line in the first 8+ minutes. Evansville hasn't really been within shouting distance since the second media timeout in the first half. And Willis steps into a shot that's partially blocked. Gibson on a run out. And Willis returns the favor.
Yeah, the 6'3" Wayne Gibson challenged the 6'9" Darrell Willis and lost the battle.
Willis couldn't quite tap it in, mistimed his jump a little bit. Shockers, by the way, one blocked shot away from tying their team best. And McDuffie caught trailing Jalen Brown, will get caught for the foul. That's McDuffie's first foul. No trouble there, but we mentioned both teams in the bonus, and now the Shockers are over the limit for the double bonus.
Talked about the Shocker offense earlier. Evansville's playing well in the second half. 4 out of 7 from the floor, 57%. But Shockers are shooting better. 6 out of 9, 67%. And both teams getting a lot of free throws.
Jalen Brown line drives that one in there. 16 for him. He's gone for 20 or more this year 14 times, including against Wichita State, including against Bradley. It's not often that you see a guy, and certainly Wichita State doesn't play this way, Bob, but where you see a guy, he can get his and will control everybody else. Greg Marshall doesn't subscribe to that, let him get his theory. They try everything they can to stop Jalen Brown. He's just that gifted.
Yeah, he's that gifted, and Evansville's got a system that can get a guy opportunities to score a lot of points. They did it with Colt Ryan for a number of years. Then they did it with DJ Ballantyne after him, and then now Jalen Brown. By the way, good pass by Shaq Morris this last trip down from the high post to get the ball over to Kelly. Did a nice job of making a dribble to get a better passing angle to get that ball down low to Kelly.
Right on cue, Kelly goes for 8, 5, and 5 in this one. About what he's done over the last month. And this is a guy coming off the bench, barely playing 16 minutes a game.
Real productive off the bench. Doing a nice job coming in.
An offensive foul. I don't know that we've seen any of those tonight, illegal screens or the like, but now we have.
Vucevic that time moved right before the defender got there.
That's
and
his
got
third.
Caught.
So it'll just be a turnover and a welcome change. The trip down with no free throws. It's 9 turnovers for the Aces, only 3 for Wichita State. Shockers are well on their way to 90-ish tonight. Smith banks it in.
There we go. Nice drive by Deshaun Smith. Yeah, they kind of powered up, absorb a little contact where he put that ball off the glass and in the basket.
Deshaun's first 2 tonight. He had 6 rebounds in that game against Northern Iowa. Smith has 5 3-pointers tonight. So it's Smith being the supporting actor for Jalen Brown's lead, but not quite enough elsewhere.
Only shooting 28% from 3 for the season, but you wouldn't know it by tonight's shooting.
5 for 7 tonight. Reeves. Kelly. Didn't panic when the shot clock went down. They knew there was extra time to make an extra pass.
Yeah, smart move by Austin Reeves. Drove to the basket, but drove under control. So when the help came, he was able to make that jump stop and get the ball to his teammate, Rashard Kelly, for the easy one. Nice drive and dish by Austin Reeves.
Shockers are shooting 57% in this half.
Tough
Gibson
shot.
over 2 Shockers. High off the window. Smith for 3. Oh!
Keep knocking down that three-pointer. What is that now for the Shockers from behind the arc?
9 out of 16.
Wow. Timeout, says
And they
Marty
shot
Simmons.
11 of 19 up at the Ford Center. Shockers get to 80 with 8:35 remaining in the game.
Pleased to announce the grand opening of Go Create, a Coca-Cola
Not a happy Evansville coach over there.
and your gateway to innovation.
Lewis Street Glass is a 4th gen.
There you see the damage, 80 to 57 with 8:35 still to play. Both teams with every subsequent non-offensive foul be shooting a bunch of free throws over the last 8:35. Points aplenty, 5 Shockers in double figures, 3 aces in double figures. Brown and Smith both with 17. Shockers, by the way, and Brown will go back to the line again, averaging 81 and a half a game. 80 at the moment.
Well, I think they're going to beat their average.
I think they'll get it.
Brown's tough to cover. That time he just took a couple of bounces and jumped right into Zach Brown and got the call.
So he is going to become, as we mentioned earlier, it's the sixth consecutive year they've had somebody average 20 plus. That's a rarity in this league. And they've made it commonplace. They ran plays for Ballantyne, as you talked about, Colt Ryan way before him, and, and now Jaylen Brown's in that little latest.
Well, Marty Simmons learned how to do it from one of the best. Ron Felling was his high school coach at Lawrenceville High School. I saw him win 2 state championships back when he was a junior and senior in high school. They were 34-0 both seasons, and they ran the Indiana system, and kind of like what you saw with Isaiah Thomas and with some of their other real scoring guards. They run them off a lot of screens and get guys a lot of shots.
Frankamp had to create something, and Shaquille Morris is going to get a foul, I think, against David Howard, and he is fouled out with just under 8 to go, if that's the call. Shockers leading 80 to 59, and the Aces are going to be shorthanded. One of their most important post players is gone. Second consecutive game, he's fouled out. To break we go.
Right, time now for the Mountain Ford shootout. Like we contested in 30 seconds.
We'll look at Wichita State. He was here on Saturday morning. And Evan minus Fred and Ron holding things down by himself. He's seeing a familiar refrain for Wichita State. They lead at 80 to 59. Shaq Morris going to line for Wichita State.
He had a pretty good record in his 4 years here.
He won his share.
Wichita State.
He won his share.
Yeah. Took him to the Final Four, undefeated season. Also had a pretty good run at Wichita Heights with Joe Auer as well.
He wasn't too shabby in that matchup against Kansas up in Omaha either.
Nope. 4 out of 4 3-pointers, or 4 out of 6 3-pointers in that game up in Omaha.
Shaquille Morris continues to be a dead eye from the foul line. He has 14 unofficially, and the Shockers push the lead back over 20 again.
After a rest, now Zach Brown back out there trying to cover Jaylen Brown.
Quick 3 from the top goes down by Ryan Taylor, his first. So they've now made 7 3-pointers, part of it due to desperation because of the deficit, but they're not used to shooting many. Shamet to tie the freshman record. That's 59 made threes on the season. One more, he'll have the freshman record all to himself. He's now shared it with Chad Elston.
Pretty nifty crossover move by Drew Smith that time. Went right by Connor Frankamp. And Connor was getting ready to pull from about 35 there. And Drew Smith recovered and got on him. Like Luchetic got that foul.
Foul away from the wall. That'll be his 4th, I believe. And Shamet, who had 3 real quick ones in the first half, was quiet for a while. And not any longer. And now the crowd to its feet because the two seniors at the scorer's table. They're going to get plenty of playing time. J.R. Simon and Zach Bush. Morris with another free throw.
We got a nice hand for Landon Shamit and Connor Frankamp, but also most of it I think is for Zach Bush and J.R. Simon, the only two seniors on this ball club.
Plenty of friends and family of those two guys in attendance tonight.
John Robert Simon's granddad there.
Little surprised Jaylen Brown's still in there, Bob.
Well,
this one might be out the gate.
He plays a lot of minutes. I don't see him setting down. Marty's going to coach him to a last possession in this game. He's not going to give an inch. Neither is Coach Martin.
Guarded desperation three. Ryan Taylor couldn't make it back-to-back threes. And now the only thing really left to find out is if these two seniors can get in the scoring column. There's one.
It is loud here. People are going nuts. That is really cool. That is really cool. Good job, JR.
Marty Simmons was not amused, but there hadn't been much he's been able to do. He pushed all the buttons he wanted tonight. Nothing has worked.
No, nothing's worked from the get-go. Shockers started out getting ball inside to Morris and then Willis off the bench. And then when they stopped that, all of a sudden here comes Shamit knocking down three three-pointers. And then later in the half, it was Connor Frankamp knocking down the three-pointers. Those guys hit 7 in the first half. But,
and isn't it fitting that the senior, J.R. Simon, with that set shot angle three, breaks the single-season three-point makes record as a team? The Shockers needed 10 to match the three-point make record. That was 11 right there, and J.R. Simon did the honors.
How about that? How about that? You think of all the great three-point shooters they've had here at Wichita State. He makes the one that breaks the record.
And that pushed Wichita State way over 40% from three for the year. I mean, they are, it's not like it's all volume. 40% as a team, very good. And that's where the Shockers are and over that threshold now.
A really good shooting ball club. And that's what they've picked up from last year and the year before. This team is a really good offensive team.
Kelly with a rejection. That ties the most in a game. Shockers have now blocked 8 shots 3 times. Plenty of milestones here tonight. See if they try to run something for Zach Bush. Around Brown, feeding Morris. He won't get the assist, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I thought Zach Bush was going up for that shot, but he fooled me and dished it off to Shaq Morris. Nice pass by Bush.
Fooled Vucetic, too. Brown answers back.
Got 21. The kid just keeps pumping them up there.
15th time he's gone for 20 or more. And that's 2 games now, Bob, that he has been as efficient as anybody you'll see against Wichita State. He's gone 16 for 26 from the floor in 2 games against the Shockers, but just hadn't had enough help.
Yeah, normally when the Shockers lock in on a guy and really focus on him, they can shut him down, but they've had a hard time shutting down Jaylen Brown at Evansville.
Zach Bush with a bounce pass. It was a split second too late, so not much chance of completion there. They will stay on this end with 21 to shoot. Shockers with a real chance at the century mark now.
Got 5 minutes left in this game. Right Brown backing his man down, turnaround jump shot. And the senior from Goddard is getting his ovation from the 10,506 crazy Shocker fans. Man, this place is going nuts. This is really cool.
Zach Bush backing down the Missouri Valley Conference's leading scorer, and his family and friends couldn't be more proud, and good for them.
Dave and Stephanie, I coached against Dave. He was a player at Regis when I coached at Metro State in Denver, so shows you how old I am. Dave was a good ball player himself, played for Regis College.
Bush missed the foul shot, but on this end will stay. It has been the Shockers' night. And in this building, it's been the Shockers' season. They have rarely been tested. The numbers are just staggering. If the Shockers score in this possession, they'll be up 30. They have won all 15 here, all by double digits and by an average of 30.4 points a game. Kelly gets loose and one.
You know who's most happy about that one? Kerry Rosenblum, the strength coach.
Now he can take a bow if he wants to.
Because watch him get hammered on this and just powers it up through contact, alters the shot, and flexing a little bit as he makes that one. Yeah, a little work in the strength in the weight room helped him make that shot.
So now Kelly's in double figures. Shaquille Morris goes out to an ovation. Eric Hamilton in. So Willis, Morris, McDuffie, Frankamp, Shamet, and Kelly all now in double figures.
You talked all about all the blowouts this year. You remember the closest game?
Against Augusta.
Augusta, the exhibition game. Augusta College.
Augusta College pushed Wichita State like nobody else did in here. Probably should have been a walk against Jalen Brown, but instead Kelly got tangled up with him.
Yeah, there was a travel there before the contact, but we're not going to nitpick.
No, we'll let it go. Brown will get 2 free throws. Got 21, averaging 20.3.
Jalen Brown, a senior himself, out of Fishers, Indiana, and he inherited the scoring responsibilities after DJ Ballantyne graduated. He's done a good job of picking up that mantle and running with it.
And you know what other void that's probably showed up here for Marty Simmons this year, and just 5 and 11 in the league, is Miscavige has led the country in rebounding. You didn't have to worry about boards down there with that guy.
Yeah, Miscavige and DJ Ballantyne, they were a great 1-2 punch. Both guys on Missouri Valley Conference first team, all conference.
Deservedly so. Closing in on 4 minutes left.
A little zone defense by Evansville this time.
Hamilton rises and hits.
Like you said, when he comes in the ball game,
finds him.
The ball finds him.
He becomes the 12th player to score tonight for the Shockers. Brown short as Kaiser with a late contest. 2 Shockers run together. Vucetic with a car wreck underneath the basket, and that'll take us to break. Shockers knocking on the door of 100. Of Kansas. Learn more about individual and family plans at deltadentalofkansas.com. As for the previous 15 home games here at Charles Koch Arena, the game reset barely matters. Let's get to the Bud Light play of the game. Bud Light, make the right call, drink responsibly. The 2 senior former walk-ons, J.R. Simon providing our play of the game. They'll share it, and they'll gladly do it. As J.R.'s grandfather here in attendance, Zach Bush, a couple of possessions later, he answered. They both get the scoring column, and they provide our Bud Light play of the game. Wichita State 340 away from 26-4.
Shot by Zach Bush. Got blocked, and a pull-up J by Davion Eads.
Played 9 minutes against Wichita State in the earlier meeting, just now sneaking into the lineup, knocks down a triple. Simon again. For the third time, the Shockers get to the century mark.
Yeah, there's his dad right there. That's John and Stephanie Simons right there from Oklahoma City. And he's got to be a one proud papa. Son just knocked down his second three. Yeah, there's Grandma, Grandpa, Mom, and Dad. They're pretty excited.
And he earned that one. That was from about 26 feet. Bush took it right back to him, and it went right up and right in.
Well, they do the celebration after the game because the last time they did the celebration before the game was against Evansville in 2013. And at the start of that game, Carl Hall was so emotional and crying so much, the Shockers got off to a horrible start. Evansville ended up winning that ball game, knocking off the Shockers. And ever since then, they've done the celebration for the seniors after the game.
Brown with another free throw. It's turned out that that key to the game hasn't mattered much because the Shockers are so unconscious from the floor. But Brown is now 9 of 10 from the foul line, 24 points. Rashard Kelly comes out to a huge ovation. Brett Barney is in there. And now both teams will empty out the benches as Jaylen Brown goes to the bench finally and shakes the hand of Marty Simmons.
He's going to hate losing that senior. What a great player. How about Rashard Kelly? Another great ball game for Rashard Kelly. 3 out of 3. Tell you what.
J.R. Simon. And Eves answers again, but Simon entered the game 2 for 7 for the season from 3.
He is feeling it tonight.
Kaiser almost banked one in. I'd be tempted to check J.R. Simon, see how hot he is.
I got a little information on him. Played at Putnam City North High School in Oklahoma City. Was a basketball and a football player and a golfer. He was a quarterback for the football team, all-city quarterback, and was also in the National Honor Society.
This is almost too much for his family and friends. I mean, that's storybook type stuff right there.
Yeah, he's a major in entrepreneurship here, and he got a scholarship this season. When one of the Shocker players left, he picked up the scholarship and was rewarded by Greg Marshall with that scholarship.
9 points in 5 minutes. That eclipses his previous career high in points of 6. (106-76). Benson gets loose for a rare basket. Matter of fact, that's his first. Now JR needs some help. Burned up his dribble. (12 to shoot. Bush leaves for Hamilton for 3 more. That would have been way too much.
Zach Bush showing some of his moves.
And the Shockers actually challenging Wichita State's previous high in points in a game, coming way back in November where they scored an unthinkable 116 points, but the Shockers with 106 at the moment. They scared it.
Got a little bit on Zach Bush here. Mom and Dad are Dave and Stephanie. He went to Goddard High School, then transferred to the new Eisenhower High School in Goddard his senior year. He's a 6'8" high jumper. How about that? So
Not bad.
The kid's an athlete.
Let's get to our Cox Communications player of the game. Cox Communications, your friend in the digital age. We'll make them co-players because it's their night. J.R. Simon with 9 tonight. Zach Bush added 2, and there they get together. And good for you guys. Ham it up for the last 119 if you want to. Kaiser makes it 107 for Wichita State. And now Bush and Simon might get a curtain call. You couldn't have drawn it up any better for these two guys tonight, Bob.
That's pretty cool. They got in so early that now Coach Marshall's able to take them out and give them a nice ovation from the crowd. And Lord knows those kids earned it. They worked really hard in practice.
The things they've been through. And one for Benson.
If you're not familiar with it, walk-ons, they have to play defense a lot in practice. They don't get to shoot it much. They have to play defense. They got to defend on a lot of the drills. It's kind of a thankless job, but they come in there every day, practice just as hard as the other guys, and don't get into the games till the very minute.
Well, let's call it what it is, Bob. They get the you-know-what beat out of them on a regular basis.
Yeah, and here's J.R. Simon going out getting the curtain call.
Only 2 seniors the Shockers will be missing, but they'll never forget this as long as they live. What a storybook ending for these 2 seniors.
How about that? Getting hugs from Greg Marshall and all the other assistant coaches. What a great senior night for those 2 guys.
1 minute left in regulation. 1 minute.
Barney.
What's not going right for the Shockers offensively tonight?
I can't think of anything.
Oh, my goodness.
The Shockers are approaching 50 points from their bench, and they can shoot it one more time if they want. A basket would make it an even 50 from their bench. Hamilton not bashful, but that one may mark the end of the Shocker scoring tonight.
Got a nice embrace at the end of the bench down there. J.R. Simon, Zach Bush soaking up this moment right here. A lot of hard work went into this moment.
Good for most of the fans too, Bob, sticking around for all 40 minutes, even though this has long since been decided. Barney blocked Benson.
With all the young guys and with Fred Van Vliet gone, Ron Baker gone, Evan Wessel gone, Anton Grady, J.R. Simon and Zach Bush had to step in and into a leadership role, especially in the summer and in the fall until the roles got determined, and helped the guys get ready for the Canadian trip and help them get ready for the season. So those guys did a lot for Coach Marshall.
The Shockers will win it by 26 and go 16-0 in this building. One more to get on Saturday at Missouri State. But what a party here tonight for the fans at Charles Koch Arena. And to the victor go the spoils, and to the spoils go Zach Bush and J.R. Simon.
What a night for those 2 guys. Really, really happy for John Robert Simon and Zach Bush. A fitting ending to a great career of those 2 guys.
Shockers 61 second half points, Bob, and that trumps the 52 that they got up in the Ford Center. Evansville just couldn't shut them off.
No, I don't think anybody could tonight here in this building on this night. The Shockers were just feeling it from the get-go. Got the ball inside, scored inside. When they kicked it outside, the Shocker guards shot the 3 really, really well, especially Shamet and Connor Frankamp in the first half. And then all the guys off the bench just picked it up, and they did the same thing off the bench. Willis, among others.
After a 26-point beatdown, the 2 seniors can take their final bows. Zach Bush and J.R. Simon do just that in a short but sweet ceremony, and here come the family and friends. Wichita State, the only game in town in the Valley tonight, so they had center stage. Tomorrow there'll be 4 games, and the Shockers will keep a close eye on the Southern Illinois State game, but they'll enjoy this for a little while longer.
I think we can forgive Greg Marshall if he doesn't get over here for a post-game interview. He's busy over there helping to celebrate the 2 seniors and their fantastic send-off here tonight.
Your former coach, Bob, on a senior night, you know the emotions are running high, not just for the seniors, but for everybody else, wanting them to do well. Can you imagine a better scenario than tonight?
No, it was perfect. Just a blowout win. Had a chance to get the two seniors in with 6 minutes to go in the ball game. They both got to score. JR 3 out of 3. Bush with some nice passes and some nice buckets of his own. And then he had the opportunity to take them both out and give them their ovation that they deserve. So just perfect senior night for those two guys.
This copyrighted telecast of Wichita State University basketball may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Cox Communications and Wichita State University Intercollegiate Athletic Association. The Shockers slam dance their way to a 109-83 victory on senior night. They finish 16-0 in the Roundhouse. One more to get on Saturday morning from Springfield. For my broadcast partner, Bob Hull, for everybody at the Spectrum Sports crew, for all season long, all the work they did, and for all those that watch here on the Cox channel, Shane Dennis saying thanks again for watching. Shockers 109, Evansville 83. So long from the Roundhouse.
In 5 years with the Shocker program,